This is what happens when silence becomes architecture. Every line feels intentional, every shadow feels expensive, and every room invites you to slow down and breathe deeper. Standing at the threshold, the room exhales a hushed welcome. Light slits across the concrete like a secret, and the air feels cool and calm. The dark walls absorb noise so footsteps sound like whispers, and the floating shelf seems almost ceremonial. I would stand there for a long moment, letting the shaft of sun move across the floor, feeling a precise, gentle stillness that settles into your ribs like warmth. Sunlight pours across the seating, softening the austerity into something tender and lived in, and you feel the room hold you. The glass opens to the garden like a breath, and the low seating invites quiet conversation or long silence. Shadows fall long and slow, and the scale makes everything feel intimate despite the lofty ceiling, a space meant for slowing down and noticing small, golden details. Sitting at the long table feels formal and relaxed at once, as if meals here are rituals of calm. The light from the clear story cuts a pale band across the stone, and shadows move like a metronome. The room encourages deliberate pacing. You notice textures, the whisper of linen, the weight of the table beneath your palms, and each bite somehow tastes clearer in that suspended hush. Morning in the kitchen feels like a private performance where light is the only instrument. It sketches the island and reveals subtle grains in stone. The surfaces are quiet but inviting, and preparing something here becomes an act of meditation. You appreciate the disciplined order, the absence of distraction, and the way daylight makes every surface sing softly, as if the room itself were clearing space inside you. The breakfast nook is a secret corner of calm where sunlight pools across the bench and the world seems to slow. I can picture curling up there with an early cup, the glass framing the courtyard like a painting, the quiet geometry of shadow and light comforting. It feels small and generous at once, a place for gentle starts, whispered plans, and the kind of peaceful morning that lingers. Opening the pantry is like finding a well-organized calm room. Light falls in a clean strip, and suddenly small things feel holy. The recessed shelves create a sense of containment and purpose, and you move slowly, almost ritualistically, selecting what you need. There's a satisfaction to the order and the muted palette that quiets the mind. Simple actions become mindful ones when the room asks you to be present. The bedroom receives you like a soft, dark embrace. Light grazes the bed, and the space feels like a pause between heartbeats. Lying there, You notice the coolness of the floor and the hush of the walls, and the garden beyond feels like a private secret. The scale encourages unhurried mornings and long, untroubled sleep. This is a refuge where silence is the most luxurious amenity. Being in the guest room is like entering a calm promise. It asks nothing of you except to rest. The light from the window cuts a neat rectangle across the floor, and the air feels steady, uncomplicated. It's modest but generous, the kind of place where visitors immediately relax and stay longer, where sleep comes easily because the room's quiet order allows worry to dissipate like light through plaster. Working here feels sacred and focused, as if the desk and the shaft of light are conspiring to keep distraction at bay. The vertical window frames a sliver of garden, and sunlight becomes a constant, patient companion through the day. You move between thoughts with fewer interruptions. The room's restraint sharpens clarity and paradoxically makes creativity feel freer, like breathing in a clear, cool space. The reading room is a soft, immersive pocket where light settles around you like a familiar blanket and time stretches. Sliding into the window seat, you feel cushioned and suspended, the bookshelves forming a quiet horizon. The room invites lingering, turning pages slowly, and the filtered light makes everything feel intimate. Stories seem to occupy the same tranquil atmosphere as the space itself. The indoor lounge is an invitation to pause midday and listen to silence shaped by materials and light. The daybed beckons to recline, and the muted reflections of the water feature translate into a slow, internal rhythm. Sitting there, you notice the way shadows soften over time, how the room subtly shifts mood, like a friend who knows when to ask nothing and simply keep you company. The sunroom feels like being inside sunlight, with a soft grid of shadows that moves across the concrete like a slow clock. The glass makes the outside feel near and breathable, while the bench offers a place to rest and watch the day change. It's a luminous, simple joy to be there, no noise, only the steady comfort of light and structure that soothes the mind and invites quiet contemplation. Stepping onto the terrace feels like coming out of a hush into a gentle, open exhale. The materials continue underfoot, so the boundary between inside and out blurs. The platform faces the reflecting pool, and sunlight skitters across water, making the world feel a little more attentive. It's a place for slow afternoons, warm drinks, and conversations that drift easily because the architecture keeps everything honest and unadorned. The courtyard is a small, perfect world where sky and stone negotiate a quiet dialogue, and standing there feels like being centered. The tree's shadow moves like a soft clock, and the surrounding walls create a private cathedral of light. It's simple and almost reverent. You find yourself slowing without trying, noticing the texture of the paving, the smell of earth, the way daylight makes the space feel like its own gentle heartbeat. What remains at the end is not just a house, but a feeling of calm made visible, proof that restraint, light, and material honesty can create the most memorable kind of luxury.